Hi guys, it's Mrs. C here with cycle 3, week 10. And yes, I am dressed as a dragon because we had costume day today. So rather than take this off and you all have to see my hair after it's been plastered under a wig for around 8 hours, I thought I would just leave it on. So anyway, we had a great day today, and I will just jump right in with geography. So for geography, as I said before, I've been having my older daughter come in and help me in the mornings. If you don't have a helper, you could take your maps home with you, and we outline in different colors the maps or the states so that they're a little easier for the younger kids to find. It is getting better now that we're in these bigger states. It's easier to find them, but still it's been really helpful. I use these. I hadn't used these for several weeks, so I got these back out. These are just the little erasers that I found, I think at Office Max maybe. They're little animals. They're actually numbers. I didn't realize that until my son pointed them out, but they're just little animals. And I gave them each one of these, and we took our animals on a little trip. We jumped in a state, we let our animals sleep in one of the states, we danced in one of the states, twirled in one of the states, and then we swam to Alaska, and we talked about how Alaska really isn't down south, that it's way up north. So anyway, that's what we did for geography. Nothing too crazy. We congratulated them on learning all 50 states because after this week, they have learned all 50 states. So that's pretty exciting. Then we moved on to timeline. So for timeline this week, we start with Japan's Heian period. Heian, I hear it pronounced different ways. So I'm going to say Heian period, okay? So you're going to make the shape of Japan. So you're going to kind of like take your fingers and kind of pinch them out like this, kind of like almost the shape of a banana, because that's the shape that Japan is in. So Japan's Heian period, which is also similar to the feudal system. So we're going to show that there were lower classes, middle classes, upper classes. So like this. So Japan's Heian period. Then we have Charlemagne. So you're going to take kind of like you're getting a dish out of the oven. You're going to take your hands and you're going to place them on your head and crown yourself. So Charlemagne crowned emperor. We're going to make an E, which is all your fingers kind of tucked in like this from the side. It looks like that. You're going to go from your shoulder down to your hip in our sash that we do for royalty. So crowned emperor of Europe. And then we have Alfred. So we're going to make an A. He's great. And every time anybody's great, we're just speak like this. Oh, you're so great. So Alfred the Great of England. For England, you're going to put one hand on top of the other and do an odd handshake. I don't know why that is. I don't know if it's supposed to be proper because we're friends with England, but that's the sign. Okay. You'll do that later when we talk about Queen Victoria and once I think Churchill. I don't remember who else we talk about, but we do this again. Then we have Eric the Red and Leif Erikson. So for Eric the Red, we're going to make the sign for red, which is touching your lips because people's lips are generally red. From the side, you go like this. You're kind of like tapping your bottom lip. So red. And then Leif Erikson, if you look at it, it says Eric's son. So Leif Erikson was his son. So we're going to make the sign for baby. Not that that big Viking was known for being a baby, but that's the sign we're going to do. So Eric the Red and Leif Erikson, Norse explorer. So we're just going to hold our hands up to our heads like we're exploring. Then we have some quick hand signs. So we're going to do Vladimir with a V, the first. And anytime you do numbers, we're going to kind of just shake our hand a little bit. And that's to indicate that you're not signing a letter and that it's a number. So the first of Kiev. And we're going to kind of go back to that V, except we're going to touch our thumb to our middle finger. So that is a K. And you kind of point it to the side a little bit. So Vladimir the First of Kiev. And then we're going to do a B for Byzantine. And here we go with Emperor again. So our E from our shoulder to our hip. Basil the Second. So this is, again, see how this looks like a V, but we're going to shake it to let people know that it's a 2, the second. Okay. And then we have really fast East-West Schism of the Church. So that one's not too hard. That's not a specific sign. It's just kind of hand motions to show the church splitting. So that was our timeline for this week. I have this little thing and I will pay great money. If you all see these anywhere, I will let you know, let me know, and I will pay for these because I can't find them anywhere. I've looked everywhere, but they're really neat. You can whack them and they light up. And they were super cheap when I got them. I got one in every color for my kids and they've disappeared over the years. So anyway, I laid out all the cards and let them go through and tap the cards as we said it. And see, it doesn't last terribly long. So we were trying to get through all the cards and sing the song before the light went off. So we went through, and if we didn't, they just tapped it again and the light went back on. So I let them each take a turn to come up and do that. It took a little bit longer than what I normally spend on timeline, but sometimes it's okay to do that. And it gave everybody a turn. So that was today. For math, I found this awesome printout from CC Connected. The username is OH. So she has, it's like 2 pages and one's need to go over the top, but for class I just printed out the bottom page that had the skip counting numbers on there. And you know, it's Halloween-y around here, costume time, so I told them that the flower was too nice for Halloween, so I had to get my monster fingers out. I did check beforehand with all of my families to make sure that that Halloween didn't bother their conscience, so just be aware of that. If you are tutoring, maybe check with your families and just make sure. But I found these funny little monster fingers at, I think, like the Target dollar spot. And so I got those and I let them put it on, and we used our monster fingers, and I told them that we were gonna pick off all the petals of our flower as we went around. So sang our song, ran around and pointed, sang it really slow, then we sang it really fast, and I told them if they did a good job, we could try supersonic fast. So they did a good job and we did it supersonic fast. So again, CC Connected, OH is the username for this if you want to print it. Then we did science. So for science, I got my agility ladder out. If you don't know what an agility ladder is, just look it up because it's hard to describe. But it's basically a ladder made out of some plastic and fabric that you can stretch out and lay on the ground. And it's nice because it makes an easy little obstacle for them to jump through. If you don't have a ladder, you can put tape on the floor. You can put index cards on the floor, whatever. It doesn't have to be complicated. The agility ladder is just easy to get in and out. So I had on some little dry erase things, I had written some of our science words, and I laid them out next to the spots on the ladder. And as they jumped, we said each word. So they would jump and we say nose, larynx, I cannot say that word, larynx, right? Pharynx, and so on. So we jumped through and they said all of those. Everybody got to go through. And then we all stood together and we just jumped back and forth over one of the lines in the squares all together. So that was science. For English, we did Duck, Duck, Goose again because they really liked that last week. They finally got the hang of it, I think. But for Duck, Duck, Goose, have them sit in a circle. I usually start off and you go around and you pat people's head, and as you pat their head, you say each of the different, I don't know what you call them, the different tenses, there we go, of verbs. So to lie, then we say lie, lies, lay, lying, laying. So we go around and you tap the heads. The last person whose head you tap on laying, they get up, chase you around, sit down. I don't do the whole like sit in the middle and you're out or anything. It's just whoever gets tapped, it's their turn to tap next, and that's how we play. Just be aware that you want everybody to have a turn, and so you might need to tell the kids where to start tapping so that each person ends up being the last one getting tapped. So it worked out with my class today that was pretty much just the person that had been sitting next to them is who they started out with tapping. So that was English. For, let's see, science, Latin. Latin, I use my sticks again because my kids love these sticks. And I'm just a big fan of if you find something that works and the kids love it and the parents don't mind it, then do it. So these are my sticks. I posted them on the Tutor Facebook page. If you are not in that page, you do have to be a licensed tutor in a licensed community to be a part of that page. But these were found on Half a 100 Acre Wood. So you don't have to be a tutor to go to her page. They're actually in the review games. And I think it's under what to say, how to do, something like that. So if you look at her review games, you can find a printout for these. They are things like say it with a robot voice, stand and say it like a soldier. Then there's some actions like say it while hopping. So I just go around, let the kids pick a stick, whatever their stick says. That is how we said our Latin rule for this week. I will say we wear a mask in our community. So some of my kids came out thinking that the Latin rule was there was no translation for A, B, and C. So I had to correct them that it's A, and the, not A, B, and C. So make sure they're hearing the right thing when you're saying it. Then we ended with history. For history, we did silly words. I was gonna bring my guitars and I just totally forgot to put them in my bag. So I apologize to my students for that, because there is fun guitar in this song. But we went through, read it, and then I went through and did my funny words again. And then we sang it through a couple times. So I didn't plan, because again, I thought I was gonna bring guitars. I just make up words. You guys don't have to. That's what's great about Stick in the Sand, is it doesn't have to be something that you spent 30 minutes on planning. I just made up words when I was in class. So I think I said President Polka Dot, and instead of the Mexican War, I said grilled cheese. Gadsden, I said macaroni. I said, instead of America, I said Santas. Instead of destiny, I said mermaid. And continent, I said, what did I say for continent? I don't know. You can make up something. Do zombie, since it's that time of year. So anyway, you can just make up any words that you want. Just be sure to go back through and really emphasize the correct words and have them say it with you. And then at the end, see if they can say the right words. So that is what we did for New Grammar today. For art, we had abstract art, which I love because I love to use the opportunity to talk about how art all looks different. And we all look different. God made us and we're all part of his artwork. So for art, we drew, I don't think I have it in here. I had them get out their set of markers, and we chose a color marker. So I think I started with blue, and we went through our oils. And so I said, okay, draw 3 circles on your paper. So they drew 3 circles. Then I said, okay, change to red, and we're going to draw 2 lines crossing your paper. So from one side of your paper to the other. And they drew 2 lines. Went on through the oils like that, just changing color for each part of the oils so that they could kind of see color-wise which oil they had used on their paper. And then we held them all up at the end, and they all looked completely different. They were all abstract, but we had all used the same components, right? So we had all done 3 circles, but they were in different spots. And so that's how we kind of warmed up and got started and talking about abstract art. And then I had them turn their papers over or give them another piece because some of their markers had gone through. And we drew their names. So when you do your name, you want to, let's see, I'm gonna do it on this paper. When you do it, you want to start with your sheet of paper. I'm gonna use the back of this flower paper. And let's say I'm gonna do Mrs. C. So I might start with it up and down, and I would draw a big N going all the way over my paper like this. Then I'm gonna turn my paper and I'm gonna do my next letter. So if I'm doing Mrs. C, I'll do an R. And it's gonna look like that. And then I'm gonna turn my paper again. I'm gonna do an S. So it's starting to look pretty abstract. And then I'm gonna turn it one more time for mine. And we're gonna do the C. Okay. Then what you do is you give them some crayons and you let them color in each of these shapes that they've now made with different colors. And at the end, it looks like a stained glass window. It's a super easy thing to do. All of them can write their name, and it doesn't matter if their letters are exactly the right size, because at the end, you just kind of want it to be all these different shapes in here. So that's what we did for abstract art. For science, we colored and cut. And I don't know about your kids, but my kids this week were like, my hand is going to fall off. So just be prepared. Hopefully you have some awesome parents in your class that are really helpful. I am blessed to have several in mine. And that was it. So hope you guys have an awesome week, and I will see you back next week looking more like myself. All right, guys, have a good weekend. Bye.